2050. Okay, so that's 24 years ahead of time, right? Like it has a high risk of sunny days. Okay, so this I don't get it at all. All right, folks, so today we will talk about two locations, Niagara Falls and Etobicoke. There's a reason for it. I just want to show you what is going on in the market and why we see prices increase on MLS, right? Because MLS calculates averages. We'll get into that. We'll also get what your money actually buys today. I also want to cover something that I saw on these apps that I just don't know. We can talk about it together. And it is definitely recommended for you to comment. I do reply on all or most of the comments, right? So let's get into it together. So we have 6065 McLeod Road. And as you can see right here, this particular property was listed at $199,000 and sold for $160,000 over asking. So for someone, especially MLS algorithm, doesn't know all that MLS, what it sees is that this particular property sold for 160,000 over asking, right? So now looking at this particular property, let's touch on it together. I drove multiple times by this particular property being built and all of that stuff. And this is stacked townhouses where you have stairs going up, stairs going, no stairs actually straight, and then stairs in the basement usually. So, and then same thing on the other side, right? So they try to save space. So basically it's, low-rise condominium unit in my eyes, right? And it does have fees and all of that stuff. So looking at this particular property, I mean, painted, fresh, it's newly built, recently finished. But just looking at everything, I mean, obviously it's small, right? Like a small kitchen, like this is like nearly like maybe 5-6 feet across. And then like the bedroom, this is probably the master bedroom, and it's literally kind of pushed in a corner with these, I guess, ducts and all of that stuff, right? Like the bathroom, it's fair. Wallpaper, nothing special, but okay, it gives it a little touch. So this is the second bathroom, and then we go back to the living room space. And this is probably on the side, like it's like this complex is right on McLeod Road. It's a very busy road that connects the Stanley all the way to QEW highway and stuff like that. Location in itself, lots to offer. Costco, Canadian Tire, Metro, downtown, casinos, and all of that stuff, right? But mind-boggling now at this point. I mean, you can see it here, right? Like the McLeod, like this living room space is literally like you're sitting on the street. Having said that, looking at the price is $359,000, and we're looking at roughly 700 square feet, right? So the prices definitely went down. When these were sold, I do not know exactly, but if I would have to guess, they were probably around $900 to $1,000 a foot, right? So who knows, maybe they bought these properties around $700,000 back in the day. Now they sold it for $359. This is not verified information, but just knowing the price, what it used to go for, that was basically the norm back in the day. So what do you think about this property? Would you live here, and would you pay even $359,000? Some have commented, because I have shown this listing to some of my friends, and they said I wouldn't even pay $199,000 for it, knowing that, properties, only a decade ago in Niagara Falls, detached properties were going for nearly this kind of money, right? So this is something to look at. Also, we're looking at this property being 26 days on the market, and annual taxes are $3,153 annually, right? So no parking spot. Like I'm assuming you park on the street. I don't know if you even have a designated parking. I'm assuming yes. And the maintenance fees are $295 per month, right? So we take that the taxes are nearly $3,200 a year, and then $300 for maintenance fees. That probably doesn't include anything, right? Like the utilities or anything like that. I cannot find these details, but what I see here, it says maintenance fees include common area only and the parking spot, which is surface, right? So it is hard to say, but it is what it is. I mean, like from me looking at the space, looking at the layout and everything else, I mean, 2 bedroom and 2 bath, nearly 700 square feet. It doesn't definitely feel like it, to be honest with you. Now you're in the busy street and all of that stuff, and would you live here for this kind of money? So we finished with Niagara Falls, and let's move to the Queensway. So 1195 the Queensway. Back in the day at the peak, I remember this area being very, very in high demand. Like I would say, there's Costco there, movie theaters are there, public transit is right there, highway Gardner is right there. Like everything that one wishes to have, especially at the peak, because Park Lawn was a mess. Not everybody wanted to live at Park Lawn. They demanded extreme high price points, high pricing units. Not all the units were facing the lake, Lake Ontario. Downtown was just crazy. You couldn't get anything under like 1,500 a foot. So this pocket between Kipling and Islington, right there on the Queensway, was like the little gold mine, right? And it was hectic, that the prices were high. Like even if back in the day, even if you wanted to rent a condo in this particular pocket, it was a nightmare. You couldn't find anything, absolutely nothing, right? So they had new projects for obviously for sale. You buy the blueprints and all of that stuff, brand new build, whatnot. So high demand were, 1 bedroom units and 1+1, 1+den. If the den can be converted into a small office, baby's room and stuff like that, usually did not come with a window, but nevertheless, like it was just insane, like, right? Like, so those units and those tickets were like literally sold within minutes for premium pricing, no negotiations. Like people were literally walking in there with the blindfold, and it is what it is. Like they just bought it, regardless where it is in the building, what it faces, why it faces, what it faces, and they would just pay premium. However, so looking at this particular unit, it sold 21 days ago, and it sold for $290,000. This particular property was on the market for 154 days. Okay, so it is like, half a year almost. Like it is nuts. Okay, and it sold for $290,000. Taxes are just over $2,000, and maintenance that only covered the heat were $408 per month. Size is roughly around 600 square feet. That includes 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom, no parking spot. So now if we calculate this on our top, like a top of the head, right? Like 600 square feet, they were selling this probably in the peak or just before the peak, way over 1,000 a foot, right? So like I don't have the information because this particular property was not a resale, was probably bought off that blueprint. But looking at this, they probably lost a good chunk of money. So like maybe you will recognize this particular property looking at it. I don't know the floor plan. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it has like such a long uh, bowling alley hallway, I call it, right? And I know sometimes when you open the door and when you see that long alley, you're like, oh my gosh, right? Like there goes 150 square feet right there, right? And it's weird because it's narrow. Like you cannot adjust the space for anything else. I have seen condominiums with the bowling alley style, but the hallway is um, wide enough. You can fit a desk maybe in a corner or something like that. You can make it work. You know what I mean? Some IKEA shelving or whatever. I want to touch on something else here as well. Just like I'm not judging. I don't care who sells it, who the agent is, the brokerage, and all of that nonsense. Doesn't matter to me, okay? But just look at the images and let's judge together, right? So this shot, I don't know, with the can in the corner, with this exact, right? Like I don't know what's going on. Then, oops, sorry, moving forward. Hold on, right there. So okay, fine. Trash can, a lot of damage. Probably rented, uh, like a broom or a stick in a corner. Not clean. Bowling alley again. Um, this like what is this for, like 62 Fahrenheit? Is there a reason why they had to take a photo of a thermostat? Don't know. um, Now this is the bedroom. uh, from my understanding, I don't know if it has a window, right? Or if it's one of those sliding doors. I don't know if you have seen those, but they have like a sliding door that open up like that, and that's your bedroom pretty much, right? So kind of weird and claustrophobic. It's like sleeping in an elevator almost, right? Um, Now, I don't know why these cabinets are opened. I have no idea why this feels and looks the way it does. It feels like there's like a lot of damage, but nothing that's like it's probably more like cleaning up this place thoroughly. But like they couldn't move this stuff, like even the agent like couldn't like clean it up, like they couldn't dress it up, like, or was this some kind of like an insane fast sale? But it was not, because it was on the market for over 150 days, so they had plenty of time and room to clean this up, right? So uh, like this is just like, you know, some keys. I don't know if the agent brought the coffee with him or her at the moment of this um, you know, shooting, or like I just believe that they took their cell phone to kind of do the job. Also, I really don't understand why there is a glass railing. I don't know if there's a balcony here, but there is literally a glass railing with a sliding door. Like this, I have never seen in my life. Okay, I've seen a lot of properties. This never. First, I thought like they put this glass because maybe they had kids or stuff like that. So the access, but it would make sense because a sliding door is pretty safe if you lock it, right? So, um, okay, fridge, nothing special. And then the agent took a photo of that lockbox, but I don't know. Like you have to first find the stairwell, I guess. So this is pretty much it. So looking at this property now, is it worth $290,000? I mean, at the peak, it wasn't worth 600,000 either, right? But I mean, like we can see where the prices are heading, and we can see what is happening. Now, I want to talk to you about something else. And on the same, this is how Sigma, by the way. So on the same map, right, I see climate risk. check this out. Like, I've never seen this before. It says projected hazards for this property by 2050. Heat risk around 2050. This property is projected to experience about 30 extremely hot days per year above 31.2 Celsius by 2050. Okay, so that's 24 years ahead of time, right? Like it has a high risk of sunny days. Okay, so this I don't get it at all, at all. I don't know why. And then risk. Heavy rainfall events are projected to become more intense and account for a large share of annual rainfall by 2050. Annual precipitation of projected to increase by 700 millimeters to 845 millimeters. So I don't know. Like, to be honest with you, I have no idea why they would project this by 24 years out. Like I'm completely confused. Like, we cannot even predict the weather for this weekend. Okay, like we have no idea what will happen, but yet they can predict it 24 years ahead. So does that have to do with utilities, with the maintenance, with the work we have seen? I'm not saying all of the buildings, I'm not saying all of the builders, developers, but we have seen uh, things falling off buildings because they were built so quickly and whatnot. I don't know if this has to do anything with anything at this point, but this is just strange. So anyways, I hope you got some value. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.